Novitas Solutions, a CMS contractor, welcomes you to the On-Demand Education Series. This on-demand tutorial is a general summary that explains certain aspects of the Medicare program, but it is not a legal document. The official Medicare program provisions are contained in the relevant laws, regulations, and rulings. The information enclosed was current at the time it was presented. Medicare policy changes frequently. Links to the source documents have been provided within the document for your reference. This presentation was prepared as a tool to assist providers and is not intended to grant rights or impose obligations. Throughout this module, you will see a citation number behind certain elements of information as shown in the example below. This citation number coincides with the transcript document positioned next to the Play Now icon you selected on the Training Videos Click and Play page on the Novitas Solutions website. The citation and associated hyperlink to the resource described in the module will be found on the transcript under footnotes for each slide.
Novitas Solutions On-Demand Education Series presents Exploring Reopening Gateway Claims Corrections Medicare Part B. Clerical Error Reopening Claim Correction. What is a clerical error reopening CER or claim correction? A clerical error reopening or claim correction is the act of initiating a correction to a previous claim submission. This includes errors in data submission and content. However, it does not include failure to bill for items or services. Claim corrections must be submitted within 1 year from the initial claim determination. A clerical error reopening is for minor errors or omissions on your claim submission, such as mathematical or computational mistakes, transposed procedure or diagnosis codes, or inaccurate data entry. Many of these corrections you can do on your own. Adding, changing, or deleting modifiers, and some exceptions do apply. Changing current procedural terminology, CPT, or Healthcare Common Procedure Coding System, HCPC codes, and changing build units. More information on how to submit a clerical error reopening is available by accessing the Novitas webpage, How to Correct Claim Errors by Clerical Error Reopening, or requesting a redetermination. Clerical error reopening decisions. When a valid clerical error reopening is submitted, the claim will be adjusted or reprocessed. A decision letter will not be sent to you unless there is a change in liability or a refund is to be requested. You will need to review the reissued Medicare Remittance Advice, or MRA, to determine claim details. Check claim status using Novitosphere or the Interactive Voice Response, or IVR. Reopening Gateway. What is the Part B Reopening Gateway? The Reopening Gateway is a free, web-based application that allows for automated submission of claim corrections. There is no enrollment required. You will receive a one-time PIN, OTP code, or a 6-digit authentication code through your email for each session to access the gateway. The Reopening Gateway provides a quick and easy way to update claim data through the internet. The Medicare Remittance Advice, or MRA, is used in conjunction with this application, which provides the ability to reopen multiple claims in one session, with the option to continue performing claim corrections under the same provider transaction number, or PTN, and National Provider Identifier, or NPI. The option to change provider transaction number, PTN, and National Provider Identifier, or NPI, and the option to perform claim corrections under different billing groups. For more information, visit the Novitas website and select Service Tools and then Reopening Gateway. Reopening Gateway Assistance. While in the Reopening Gateway, users can connect directly with a live web chat agent for questions about using the application. JH is available Monday through Friday, excluding company holidays, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, NJL is available Monday through Friday, excluding company holidays, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For general questions, contact customer service, JH at 1-855-252-8782, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time and Mountain Time. JL, call 1-877-235-8073, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Claim corrections permitted through the reopening gateway. The following common clerical errors can be corrected on finalized claims through the reopening gateway: referring provider name, first letter of their first name, first 4 letters of their last name; referring provider national provider identifier or NPI; date of service, diagnosis codes, place of service or POS, procedure code, quantity billed or units, billed amount, and modifiers can be added, changed, or deleted. Exclusions from the reopening gateway. The following scenarios may not be adjusted through the reopening gateway: corrections to claims where the finalized date of the claim is greater than 1 year old, claims that already had a redetermination or higher level of appeal performed. Types of service 7 for anesthesia services are unable to have the quantity billed or number of services or units updated through the reopening gateway. Changes to or additions of the rendering provider's NPI or national provider identifier. Lines of service containing the following modifiers or corrections to add these modifiers cannot be performed through the reopening gateway for modifier 21, 22, 23, 24, 52, 53, 55, 56, 73, 74, GA, GM, GX, GY, PA, PB, or PC, and claims for certain drug codes and acquisition costs. The excluded corrections must be submitted using a Medicare Part B redetermination and clerical error reopening request form. Drug code claim corrections that cannot be performed via the reopening gateway. This list indicates the Drug and Radiopharmaceutical Healthcare Common Procedure Coding System or HCPC codes that will need to be corrected via fax or a written appeal. You will not be able to correct these claim errors via the reopening gateway. Claim correction in reopening gateway. Step 1. Accessing the reopening gateway. In order to access the reopening gateway, you will visit www.novitas-solutions.com. On the drop-down, you will then select Reopening Gateway. From the left-hand blue Content Center, you will click on Appeals. Step 2. Accept the terms and conditions. Once you have accessed the Reopening Gateway application, you will need to accept the terms and conditions. Step 3. Provider verification. The following data elements are required to authenticate the provider: the billing provider's 10-digit national provider identifier, the billing provider's provider transaction access number, the last 5 digits of the billing provider's tax ID number, state where the provider is located, and a valid email address. This data is entered within the Reopening Gateway verification screen. You will select Email OTP code under the email address block displayed. If the provider authentication information is validated, a one-time PIN will be sent to the email address that was provided. If the provider's information is not validated, an error message will generate and the authentication information will need to be corrected. Once the correct provider verification data has been entered and submitted, a message will populate to advise you to check your email for the one-time PIN. Step 4. One-time PIN OTP email. You will receive your one-time PIN via email. The email will look like the one currently on your screen. The OTP code will expire 30 minutes after receipt if not used promptly. Step 5. Using the one-time PIN OTP. Once the one-time PIN is received, you will enter it into the field titled One-Time PIN OTP Code and select Submit. It is important to be aware that the reopening gateway will automatically log the user off after 30 minutes of inactivity. The user will need to complete the previous steps to re-verify the provider and receive a new one-time PIN OTP. Step 6. Submitting a claim correction. The billing provider's National Provider Identifier, NPI, Provider Transaction Access Number, or PTAN, and state will be displayed at the top of the page. In the type of reopening field, you will need to select Claim Correction. To find the claim you would like to correct, additional information is required and needs entered into the reopening request page. You will enter the internal control number, ICN, and the Medicare ID, which is the Medicare Beneficiary Identifier, MBI, or Health Insurance Claim HIC number. Step 7. Using the Medicare Remittance Advice, MRA, to verify the line of service. It is best to have the Medicare Remittance Advice, MRA, available when using the Reopening Gateway since Protected Health Information, or PHI, will not be retrieved or displayed from the Medicare processing systems. Using the Medicare Remittance Advice, MRA, we can verify the correct line to be adjusted on the Reopening Request page by comparing the following. The quantity billed, which is under billed amount in the reopening request page and under the NOS section on the Medicare Remittance Advice MRA. The billed amount, which is located under billed amount in reopening request page and billed column on the Medicare Remittance Advice MRA. And the allowed amount under allowed amount on reopening request page and allowed column on the Medicare Remittance Advice MRA. Step 8. Identifying the correct line to be updated on the reopening request page. All gray fields in the header position and under adjustable lines may be edited in the reopening request page. It is important to remember any fields that are modified will replace the data that was submitted on the original claim submission. The Reset button can be used at any time prior to hitting the Submit Claim Correction button to clear any changes made and reset the screen back to how it originally appeared. On this example, we will note the line available to adjust has a quantity billed of 1 unit, a billed amount of $300, and an allowed amount of $0. This line of service matches the previous screen where we discussed having the Medicare Remittance Advice, MRA, available to select the appropriate line or service for correction. Once you are satisfied with the changes made, you will select the Submit Claim Correction button. Step 9. Summary of Changes. Once you click the Submit Claim Correction button, a summary of changes will then be displayed with all the requested changes. A claim correction submitted successfully message will be displayed under the changes. At this point, the corrections to your claim will be systematically updated and your claim will be reprocessed. It is important to note if the delete modifier option was used, the deleted modifiers will be reflected on the summary of changes by red highlight as shown. The summary of changes can be printed by selecting Print at the bottom of the page as shown. Additional options for clerical error reopenings. The Reopening Gateway is one of a few available options to submit clerical error reopenings. Additional options include the Novitas Sphere portal for claim corrections, appeal request, redetermination, and clerical error reopening form, the automated claim correction IVR, and the redetermination and clerical error reopening form. Submit claim corrections and reopenings. For additional information regarding submitting claim corrections and reopenings, please visit the Novitas Solutions website. Select Appeals from the left Content Center, then click on Submit Claim Corrections to view the available resources.
Thank you for attending. We encourage you to visit our website, www.novitas-solutions.com, to access additional resources and participate in our educational events. Visit our Education and Training page to access the most current Medicare education.